So you're in a 9-piece reggae band.
Yeah.
And is it correct that you also toured with the Wailers?
Yeah. You done your homework, man. Yeah, how did you find out about that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. For those of you who don't know, the Wailers was Bob Marley's band. Rest in peace, Bob Marley. But they're a legendary group. So what was
Yeah.
that experience like? How did that all come
It
together?
was amazing. Yeah. I don't really know how we got it. I think we were just known at the time for being like a good live band with a lot of energy. And I think on stage we had me, I was the singer, and then Levi was like an MC.
Yeah,
So we used to have really good chemistry and bounce off each other. And yeah, we just had a bit of a name for ourselves. I don't really know how it came about, but the experience was amazing.
right.
And I think that might have been one of the last tours. Aston, the bass player, so he's one of the original Wailers.
Okay.
I think he was one of his last tours. I think he passed away recently, actually, rest in peace. He must have been like in his late 70s during that tour.
Yeah, because when I saw it, I was like, wait, the Wailers? I'm like, it's no way that they're still touring. And I
Yeah.
saw that they're still playing music now. So
Yeah.
it just kind of like, is it still in the, well, that wasn't a family group because the Marleys kind of do their own thing.
Mhm.
Is that something they just kind of, I don't know, keep rejuvenating and
Yeah,
adding new
I
musicians
think
to?
there's like two or three left who were in the original setup. Maybe down to one now. But Aston was kind of the main one. He was one of the original core Whalers, and yeah, it was a great experience. We did all the O2 arenas with them in the UK, and
Yeah,
obviously, we love Bob Marley. Who doesn't love Bob Marley? It's so just to get anywhere close to the people that knew him or spent time with him, and
right.
I was just asking questions like to
Yeah.
anyone that had any information, and yeah, they were lovely. They were really nice people as well. So yeah.
That's super dope. Any cool stories, any memories that they shared with you of Bob Marley or
Can't remember.
Wailers in
The
general?
whole tour was a bit of a it was a bit of a distant memory now. There's a bit, some stuff going around,
Right.
but not really in particular. I mean, Aston was really old. He was kind of coming in for the show right before stage and then leaving, so I didn't really get much chance to speak with him. But yeah, it was yeah, memorable experience for sure.
But that's
How did you find out about that? That's quite a good level of research.
I don't know. It's my job to know.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
It is my job to know.
I'm
So
impressed.
I definitely digged it up. Tell me, so you're in a group, and obviously now you're a solo artist. Is there anything that you miss from being in a group versus now doing it solo?
Definitely, yeah. The camaraderie of it. We were a bit like a sports team, to be honest.
Yeah.
And we just used to get into a splitter and drive around the country, drive around Europe. We were, 21, 22. So we kind of didn't have life's weight on our shoulders just yet. And we didn't mind slumming it or sleeping on a floor or, not making much money, to be honest. You divide anything by 9.
Yeah.
And it's not much, especially in, music. So I miss the camaraderie. I miss the kind of carefree nature of it, I guess.
Yeah.
But then there's also stuff I don't miss too much, like camping all the time at festivals.
Right.
You won't catch me in a tent anytime soon.
No more tents.
No, and yeah, just the slumming it aspect. I don't think I could do that quite as well at this age. But yeah, there's definitely things I miss, and also yeah, just again that team spirit of whatever we win together, we're together. Whatever might be difficult, we take together the loss as well. So yeah, I do miss it from time to time.
Anything that you've learned from being in a group or that group specifically that you now kind of implement in your own music?
Yeah, I think just kind of being a frontman and performing and having to lift the crowd. Before that, I was like a singer-songwriter, acoustic soul kind of thing. And then suddenly I was in front of quite an energetic band, horns, loud drums, bouncing off Levi the rapper. And so I think it just taught me kind of being the frontman for sure, which now I definitely implement. It also taught me that I can't really drink when I go on stage.
Yeah.
I used to do that all the time, and God knows what else as well. But now, if I was to try and do a tour and be drinking all the time and drunk on stage, yeah, again, wouldn't work. So I've definitely learned that, I think.
Right. Well, I can imagine, I consider myself a confident individual, but to get up on stage in front of people and sing a song, that seems like something that's like crazy daunting to me. What does it feel like when you're before stage, when you get on stage? What are kind of the thoughts and emotions that you're going through?
I think the feeling before actually is the best feeling. I really like that energy. You could be tired, you could be not feeling in the best place, whatever, you could be in any kind of mood. But if you've got to put on a show, if you've got to go and do a gig, you have this kind of lift in momentum, energy, and it's kind of exhilarating. And when you're doing it every night as well, it
Yeah.
becomes quite addictive. So yeah, I would actually say the adrenaline beforehand
Okay.
is cool.
That kind of drives the rest of the show.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
And
for
then
sure.
when you're up there, I'm assuming you just kind of get in your zone
Yeah,
and level out.
yeah, for sure. And yeah, still to this day, I get the same feelings from performing. I still love it. Yeah.
That's good. What do you like more, recording? I mean, performing the song or
That's a hard question.
creating the song?
Now I'd say creating for sure.
Yeah.
Now I'm a bit more of a studio body. Back then, as I said, we got the process the wrong way around. We used to tour for the whole of the summer, and then whatever money we had left, we'd go into the studio and try and record
Yeah.
a project in 2 days. Whereas now I spend far more time creating the music, being far more selective on what we use and what we put out, and then we take a gig when it makes sense. We're not
Right.
trying to drive to the other side of Europe for a gig now unless it makes real sense. So
Got it.
yeah, but I'd say nowadays I'm definitely more of a studio body, and I enjoy the process of creating it more.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And I saw that you said that you took a break from music at a point. And I think it's hard as a musician. I mean, that's an entrepreneurship thing that you're taking on to be able to, one, make a living off of, two, have the rhino skin, like you said, to keep going and stay consistent. So, what made you take that break, and why do you think that you ended up coming back to music?
At the end of the band, it just became impossible to carry on, really. We all lived in London, and the prices are high here, even back then. And yeah, just kind of, I think we all just got to like 23, 24. We just, as I said, the weight of life earlier, that got a bit heavy. And I'd never really gone and worked a proper job before. So I think I wanted to almost prove to myself that I could do something outside of music. And we all just got a bit tired of, the difficult conditions. And yeah, so I went and just got a normal office job for like 4 or 5 years in the end. And then one day just was like, what the hell am I doing? I need to go back to music. I was on my way to work doing my commute every day, listening to playlists and just thinking I could make something that sounds a bit like that. I'm sure it's not that far away from me. And then, I kind of prepared for a few months and then said sayonara and then came back. And that's where this project came from, this Benny Atlas came from.
Oh, so Benny Atlas, that name was after.
Yeah.
Did you go by a different name before then?
That was Shanti. The band was called Shanti.
Shanti. The band was called Shanti.
That's right, yeah.
So tell me about Benny Atlas. Where did that name come from? What's the inspiration behind that?
You know what, the name, I don't know if you ever had to like name a creative thing before, but it's quite a long process, and I had some really embarrassing names that I'm not trying to reveal.
I was about to say, please share.
There's only a couple people, and then there were some bad ones in there, honestly, and
Yeah.
one particular bad one which we almost went with. So anyway,
Okay.
I've always liked names that have like an earthly feel to them or some reference to the earth. I guess an example would be like Frank Ocean, or
Right.
I mean, Earth, Wind and Fire would be an obvious one. But then also like when there's like a normal name. My name's Ben, so Benny is what my dad calls me. So then, Atlas just felt when we said it had a bit of a ring to it. Yeah. And that was about as far back as the thought process was. It wasn't thought about too much. Just had a ring. Yeah.
So got a ring to it. When I saw it, it made me click on the music. So
yeah.
I think I found you on Spotify, if I'm not mistaken. And then I kind of dived in from there. But I mean, it's a good name. Yeah,
I think so. And also, like my mom, she's got quite an interesting ethnic background.
Yeah.
And we haven't really ever got to the bottom of where she's from. She's kind of she was an orphan and she didn't really know her parents. So we're still trying to track down exactly where my mom's from.
Oh.
So I guess the Atlas thing kind of is saying, I'm kind of from all around the place.
From the world.
And we don't really know where. So,
as we all are. We're all from somewhere. Our differences are much less than what our similarities are. Yeah. So I like that, definitely. Let's talk about your music some. So, one, I appreciate you since you've came back, it seems like you've been releasing consistently. And as a music fan, I love when I can go to an artist and kind of explore their music without getting stopped after like 5 songs and be like, wait, where was the rest of it? So you have a couple EPs out, the most recent one being Better Now You Know.
Yeah.
I have so much to say about that. So we're going to get to all of it. But first, tell me, what's your process of creating the theme for an album? Are you, before you start making songs, saying, okay, I want to go in a certain direction, or is it you just kind of making songs and then after a while you're like, which of these songs fit together?
Yeah, a bit of both. This project was kind of happened naturally. I started making songs more about the kind of darker side and the risks in love. My previous release before that had been all about the joy of falling in love and that inner energy that you feel when you meet someone special. And I just started kind of naturally making songs about the other side of it. I made one or two. I can't remember which ones came first, to be honest. And me and that producer just locked in and decided, okay, this is like a pattern developing here in this project, and decided to go, let's do a whole project around it. So it kind of happened organically and also naturally because, as I said, I'd written so many love songs, possibly cheesy love songs beforehand. I wanted to make it a bit more moody and a little bit more, about the darker side of falling in love, or the risky take.
So when I listen to it, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I definitely, first of all, the songs aren't cheesy. The love songs that you were making in 2002, I forgot the other one, I think it was 2001. They're not cheesy, all they're lovey. I'm someone who loves love, but I also have that other side to me as well. So I noticed that there was definitely a transition between the, not puppy love, but just the love, the happiness verse. This one is a little bit more dark. You see, we're both wearing black. That was not planned.
Came in costume,
right. It's a little bit more dark and it's a little bit more toxic.
For sure.
So was that kind of just, did that breath out of experience and you just life experiences? Was it more personal or more universal?
I think more universal, and just looking back over past life experiences. You're trying to get me in trouble.
We can always talk about it. You can speak generally.
I'm joking. Yeah, no, I mean, definitely from things I'd experienced in the past and previous relationships and learning from mistakes. And definitely there's a big toxic element to that whole project. In a lot of the press and the interviews I did, it was some tricky questions, to be honest, to answer. And I think it's just something that's very relatable. I think everyone's messed up before, everyone's been hurt, everyone's been betrayed, give or take, So I think I'd experienced it. I think most people had experienced something like that, and it's quite relatable for people.
No, it's very relatable. I listen to those songs and I feel like I'm the one who wrote them, and I'm like, okay,
that's good.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was going through at a certain point in my life.
Okay, good.
And I think a lot of my friends could relate to those stories as well. Again, we're talking about the album Better Now You Know, and
and I think it was nice to write from the perspective. A lot of it was like, you're the perpetrator, I'm the singer, I'm the perpetrator, I'm the one causing this damage, this pain. Whereas a lot of those kind of songs are, you're often the victim,
right?
Which is why I guess that toxic element comes into it. But again, it's real.